Hey everyone, it's Desiree. Welcome. And I am here with an extremely long video. I just know it's going to be long. I'm not going to show every day, but I do have the rest of the days of the Creep on June journal that I'm doing set up. So I actually did that while I was watching somebody else go live. Biddy. Yeah, she just got caught up in a long one, and I just kept on going. Now, I'm going to explain some of the mistakes, and I shouldn't say mistakes. Something that I was thinking about and just didn't do and totally forgot to do that I wanted to do. Did you get all that? See why this video is going to be pretty long? I'm just saying. One of the things you can see here that she is definitely an alligator mouth. I do have the signatures sewn in. As I was continuing to work in the first one, I was finding it more and more difficult for me to continue to work on these pages. And I am glad that I made the decision to get it sewn in. Reason is because this would have been so thick. It was very difficult to handle this one, getting it sewn in on the plate so that I can secure it into my hardbound book. This is a hidden spine, a hidden sewn in signature spine. At least that's what I call it, because you don't see the signature sewn on the outside. I very rarely do that. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever done it. It's not something that I gravitate to. If I'm doing a hardbound outside, I will do a hidden spine where I take a piece of chipboard and I cover it with some of the digital print or the pattern paper, and then I sew into that and then place that into the book. So I'm glad I decided to get the signature sewn. I am not lying to you or kidding with you. I did this last night. It was on a Saturday, and it took me 2.5 hours. And after I did it the first time, I had to take it out. Yeah. It was a very stressful moment. And I am so glad that I did not do it as a live. I was going to, but boy, I am very glad that I did not, because it would have been very graphic with language. It was just a very stressful moment. All right. But you can see that she is definitely an alligator. Now, for me, that's not an issue, because a journal like this, for me, is a home decor piece. This is going to sit somewhere on a shelf so that you can see all of these beautiful papers coming out and so on. So I'm okay if it's like this. I mean, you really can't even put, if you put a closure on this, this is how far it would still stay open. What I was going to do, and what I told myself about a week ago, is make another hardbound book. This is a 2-inch spine. Let me confirm that. Yeah, it's about 2-inch, 2¼ inch spine. And honestly, it should be, this would have been, if I look at this here, this would have had to have been a minimum of a 4-inch spine. And to me, that's just getting way out there. So I'm okay that it looks like this. Again, this is one of those, what I refer to as a home decor journal. You're not going to take this and prop it into a bookshelf. You're going to want this to sit out because of the cover, the way that's going to look, the way the spine is going to look, the way the back is going to be set up. I mean, we're not done. I have an idea for the whole outside and it's all going to be done in panels. And my closure is actually going to be chains. So I believe, I'm not completely sure yet. I know I'm going to have holes put in on this, and I believe I'm going to have them sitting at the top here, and they're going to drape. There's going to be 3 sets of chains that drape down, and it's going to be lobster clawed, so you will be able to open it. Can you work in this journal? Yes, you certainly can work in this journal, but it's just not a typical journal. Now, what I also did when I was sewing this the second time, I remembered I usually, when I sew my signatures, I measure the height and pull 3 strands of my wax thread for that. For these, I went with 4. I pulled out 4 lengths, 4 height lengths of each of the signatures. Because remember, the center signature is the case file that we created, and we don't have the deed on the back. Now, the deed on the back is going to simply be secured right like this. It's going to be a clip that's going to hold this. And I believe there may be something clipping it on this side as well. So there's our back. I mean, our back is something that is extremely bulky as well. So that's what our back cover is going to be. It's just going to have a plate that's going to sit underneath it that I'm going to do. Not quite sure yet what that's going to be. Now, because I pulled the strings 4 times to get 4 lengths of the height, I then had these really long tails from the center. All right. And what I mean by that is after you sew your signature, you have, if I get to the center here, you have these pieces here. And I wait till the very end on what I'm going to do with these. If these are usually the only thing that will hang out the bottom of the journal, and I'll put charms on these. This is after it's knotted. For these were really long, and I was glad that I did that, because instead of them coming out the bottom, I have them coming up the top here. So I don't know if you can see that. I've got these 3 rows here of the threads, and then what I did, I tied them all in a knot, and I have secured them to the top of the journal. From these tassels that I have here, these pieces, I'm going to be adding ribbons, chains, charms, and all the googly stuff that goes there. And that's what's going to sit on the spine. And what's also going to sit on the spine is a book plate that will say Creep on June 24. I mean, what else to name this journal? For most of you that have been here, you know I name each of my journals and I keep track of those names. She is going to be called Creep on June 24. Absolutely. Why not? And then there will be sequels if Tracy does this again. Please, Tracy, do this again. Yes. And we will just have fun with that. What I'm going to do to the front, I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea what the front of this is going to look like. Let me remove the deed or property thing before that gets damaged in any way. Now, for the pages that I have left to complete, I'm going to do a bunch of them today. I already have them laid out. I've used my paper clips So what I'm going to be doing today is gluing, inking, gluing, layering, and creating. But I'll walk through of what my mindset is and what I'm doing with that, and also stamping. I'll be stamping or stenciling some of the backgrounds on the pages as well. There will more than likely be a second video doing the same thing, where I'm just going to continue through some of the pages, depending upon how long this video is. And depending upon how far I get with this. But I believe there may be a second one. If not, there will be a final full flip through of this journal and what it finally looks like. Because even once we get the pages done, we've got to add the black lace, the black ribbon, the twines, the brown twines, some purple. We're adding purples into this just for that pop, and they're going to sit in the center where I have all of these different papers that are sitting there. So, and that might be its own video, the centerpieces. So maybe that'll be the last one. Once I get through the pages that we get through today, the rest of the pages are pretty much set up like that as well. You know, difference and what my reasoning is for putting this here and all of that fun stuff. So let's get started. I'm going to show you what this looks like. So even as she's laying flat, this is what the spine looks like. You can see that I had that set with some very strong glue and some tweezers. I have the ability to take a needle up under these to add some more ribbons coming off of this. I did dye some sari silk, so I may add some of that. I don't know. I may just keep it just these, because I think that's creepy enough. All right, so let's get our book open. But yes, I am so glad that I sewed this. Woof. Okay, so let's get to our page. So here's our center. This is the center that I'm talking about. It's 2 black envelopes. It's just a plain piece of, that's actually calligraphy paper, and then this, I forget what that is. I think it's drawing paper, buff drawing paper. These, I'm going to leave these alone. These are not going to have anything. So the recipient, whoever gets this, will be able to do whatever they want in that section. I figured I had added enough when it comes to this. So we are actually, I have no idea what page we are on, to be very honest with you. Here we go. Okay, we are on page 11. And you know what? I think that's the only page that I have identified. I took the rest of them out. So I'm going to write that down so that I know this is where we are at. Trying to find a pencil. There we go. And I know the third signature, technically the second of these, that starts with 16. Now, I know someone's going to ask, can this even be used? Absolutely it can. You know, this is a great one to tuck ideas in, to scribble in the different areas and what you're looking for. But this definitely is not a typical journal that we all know. Again, I like to call them diaries on steroids. Because we can do so much with them. It's not just a book where we're writing our thoughts. It gives us a theme that we can add to it and also be creative in our journal. I will be drinking lots of iced tea today. So again, more of a home decor type piece. So I have my notes all throughout here of what I want to do when it comes to the pieces. So I know this one here, I want to take and add some, and I'm going to keep this up off to the side for right now. I'm going to work in this area here, and then I'll pull this down for when I add the things. So just bear with me. I only have so much room, unless, well, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so when we come back, we are going to start constructing our pages. Okay, so for this one, my note is I want to put a pocket here. And again, it's just going to be glued in. So now I'm just looking through. Whenever I print down, especially for a project like this, when I print down the digital, I print the pages full size, but then I also print the pages half size, so 2 per page. And the reason why I do that is so for times like this, I want to take this tag and add a pocket in it, but I don't want to lose the details of what I don't want to lose the details of the pattern, if that makes sense. And again, you're just going to see a lot of inking. That is something that I did not do. So unfortunately, you know, you get to see that. So by the time we are done here, my fingers should be good and inky. Now, and usually I'll be using the same 2 that I've been, Vintage Photo and also Scorched Timber. I did not pull in Black Soot. And I pick and choose when the Scorched Timber will come in. And whether it is the Scorched Timber or the Vintage Photo, it will be heavy-handed. All right, so this, I am just going to put my glue down onto the tag, and then I'm going to put my tag down. And now I've got to clean that off, or else it's going to stick. And then I will trim around this outside. Now, I am sure that once the pages are complete and I start adding in the spare tags and creating other pieces of ephemera, this will grow and expand even more. I think it's, I mean, it's not going to be too much, but it's definitely going to grow just a little more. So depending upon what I put in, that I always determine last. So now we have a small pocket, and the reason why I put that on this side is, let me move these out of my way. Put those up there. And we'll move those. And I'm going to get my trash can. right over here underneath me. Here we go. So this is going to sit here on an angle. All right, again, that page popping out. And the reason why I did that is you'll see, and we're going to make this a tuck. So I'm going to put glue down on this edge and then this edge. And I'm going to lift off that glue. And I'm just going to press this down so that she stays. So now when we open this, we can write here, but we can tuck in here. We can't write on this page. You can create a writing board for this journal, have it sitting off to the side, but you know, why do that? So this way we just have areas where we can tuck pieces in, and we have a pocket or a tuck back here. Now this piece is open, and we will create some type of closure for this piece. But again, that's something that I'm going to do at the end, and more than likely it's going to be a swing type closer so that it stays close. All right, now for this one, we are going to take both of these, and what I want to do is I want to keep that one there so that I know where this is going. I kept all of my threads. We're not going to make this one a pocket either. We are going to close this only because it's on the vellum and I don't want to rip that. So now I'm going to set this down on this side, pull, and now fillet. There we go. And now I'm going to do the same thing on this one. You can write on the vellum, which I think will be cool because you'll see through it. And then we're going to get this here. Now, you saw what I forgot to do, and that is ink the underside, which is fine, because we will do that now that it's on here. I did keep all my sewn edges on here. And again, to me, that just adds to the effect. If you want to trim them, you can certainly trim them. Totally your choice. Absolutely, totally your choice. And I'm good that I'm getting the ink on the vellum. There we go. We'll let that fall out. And then we will get these in place up here. And we will remember to ink on the inside and on the outside. Oh, I didn't have to write down those numbers. That's right. All right. And then we are going to set this piece. Now I'm going to let these fall, but I do want to keep them clipped. So, And this piece is just going to sit here, and it's going to be a side tuck. I did not sew every piece. I did make sure that there was one piece sewn on each page. And we're going to put that there. A lot of the pieces that I used, all right, so now we have a tuck. A lot of the pieces that I used, and this is cool because you can see the face coming through there as well. I used a lot of course, the everyday pieces from the kit, whether it was a tag, a file folder, or an envelope, and then the tags that went with them. And then definitely the inscription. So those were always used. When it came to the ephemera pack, I would read this little scripture, okay, of what she pulled from the story, and that's what I looked for. So I used a lot of the photos of the people and the spirits, a lot of the pictures of the scenes. I didn't get too much into the furniture pieces or the skeletons. I kind of stuck with just those pieces that I was working with. All right, so that one is done. So now we're going to move on to our next one. Now, as this starts getting bulkier, I have my flattener. All right, so this, I want to make a belly band, but a cricky, a crinky one. All right, so let's ink our pieces first. So I apologize if this is not a noise that or sound that you enjoy. So very, very sorry. But I did want to make sure that you saw how this was coming through, and mainly because people were messaging me. Which I think is awesome. All right, so now we're going to get this glued. All right. And, I really wanted that on top. But, we're just going to go with it. So now this is all crinky. But I do want to stabilize this. So I am going to cut a piece of cardstock. Let me see, do I want to mat this on the cardstock and the black? I'll continue with the green file folder throughout. But here we go. Now, the other thing that's also making these very thick so to speak, is because, you know, I'm adding a lot of dimension to the pieces. I'm either distressing the edges of materials, I'm adding layers. So that is going to add a lot to it as well. All right, so I am going to get glue. I'm going to put it not on my threads. That would be very upsetting if I did that. Okay, so now we'll pull this back in, and that's going to sit there, and that is going to be a belly band for us. And again, I am not making sure that these are going in straight. I am not making sure that I've got 90-degree angles. On very few pieces I am. But again, this is just a whole mismatch, Mod Podge of all kinds. I want this to represent chaos, if that makes sense. All right, so our tag. And I honestly, you know, didn't know if this was going to work. Yes, I've had some bumps along the way, but I really am loving the look of this. And I'm going to say that this style is kind of inspired, I'm sure you all know her, Nick the Booksmith. There was a journal, this is a while ago, there was a journal she showed. It was very different. It looked like it was a journal for a fairy. It had all of these greens coming out of it and all over the place. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. And for some reason, I just remember that journal. And it was kind of, you know, the same setup where things were just popping out all over. And it's also like her Frankenstein pages. I just really, really liked that look. So I'm going to say very much inspired by her. Okay, now this is going to come down here, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to make it a tuck. And we'll hold that for a little bit, and then that tag is just going to sit in there. And again, this will open up as well. And I may end up putting a pocket in there as well. Again, this is just what I like to refer to as the first round. All right. This is 13. And this here is going to be an upper level tuck coming out of the top. I think I just want to come down on this side. We'll see. And then this now becomes a tuck. We're going to make this one here a pocket, and we're going to do that on both sides of the vellum. I very rarely make pockets on the vellum, but I think it's just different and interesting. And I'm putting glue before. You guys need to scream louder. Okay. So I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Oh no, what's going on there? Okay. Not only getting ink on myself, I'm getting ink everywhere. So that's fun. Okay. So here we go. Now we're going to add our glue. And again, we're making these pockets. And this also brings some stuff more inside, which you don't want to do that too often. And then we're just going to layer this. I am so sorry, just hit the camera. And we're just going to put that down. And I will have strings coming off the bottom, and that's from the sewing that I did, which I purposely kept those tails long. Okay. Now, for this one, I've got all kinds of things going on here. I do want to, oh yes, I got these pieces inside. So I took one of the tags and I split it, which I thought was, you know, kind of cool. And what we're doing, or what my thought was, is kind of creates a different type of belly band. So it's, you know, going to be top and bottom, and it's going to come down a little bit. So like I'm going to do this part here. And then this is like, I'm going to do a little bit here. So you can put something inside and kind of have like a little tiny secret space in there. Now this one we're really going to ink up heavily because it's kind of on, it's not the same exact paper, but she's pretty close. And I only have to do that one side. And I will go around with the scorched timber on that other side because we're going to glue down the other one. So just looking to have, you know, some different elements to add your pieces or your ephemera into. And how do I want that to go in? And you can see, well, you can't see anything. If I pull it down, you'll be able to see, you know, I kind of did the same thing. When we open this, you know, it's a pocket here. You're writing on this. So that's something that I'm trying to keep conscious of. I'm just going to do this top portion. Because that's going to come up like that. And there we go. And then we've got a secret going on up there. Okay, our next one. Oh, this one's going to be fun that I came up with. So let's do... Oh, we're already at day 14. get this one down. And I'm putting it on upside down. Only me. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's work on this side of the page first, because I think that's going to take the most because of what I want to do. And I've got it's an idea. I just don't know if it's going to work. But I'm thinking it should. And I want that to go there. And we're just going to glue this one down. So this is more of a decorative piece. And again, always looking to say, okay, what are we seeing through the pieces that we're laying down? And we're just going to let this one be. Meaning we're just going to ink around it and we are going to get it into our journal. So always trying to have a balance of, okay, this one has a lot, this one has a pocket, this one has this, and this is just going to be a piece that sits in here or creates a tuck and a pocket. And it's funny that I'm going to say this, you know, I didn't want it to be overdone. I know you're all laughing at that one. But again, now I'm going to take this clip and move that there, if I can. There we go. Because this is going to sit right up in the corner. And yes, we are going to make it a tuck. So I'm going to fold this over because I do want it to overhang. And you can see there's going to be a lot of paper clips coming into our future. Just saying. All right, so now we have that. Okay, so this one. So what I'm going to do is we're going to ink the inside of this one. Trying to clean my hands of all of that glue. And then just adding a little bit of the scorched timber. And we're going to make this a pocket. And before we do, I'm going to move this up. We're going to ink. All right, now if I look at this, all right, so I do want it here. So I'm going to grab this and my pokey tube. And I'm going to grab a brad. I'm going to go with the small ones. I don't think I should use the big ones anymore. They take up a lot of room. And we're going to put this brad through this. Make sure that it goes side to side. And I'm going to grab a piece of heavy duty tape, and I just need a thin slither of it. I don't want the brad to move. I only want the paper to move. All right, so now we're going to get this in. Did I just do that? Oh my goodness, yes, I did. Wow! Oh, guys, you are seeing me at my finest. Okay. Burp, burp. And now we're going to put this into our journal. It's not exactly how I wanted it, but it still looks good. And now I'm going to take this and put this in there as well. And this can be a pocket also. So what we've created here is we've got a pocket in the back. This will swing out so that you can journal here. And then once this is back in, you can pocket in there as well. I wanted that to come out further, but that's okay. Well, we're gonna go with it. Next one. All right, what do we have here? All right, so this we're just going to, again, we're gonna make a pocket on the inside, and this is going to come up out of the top. So we'll have our pocket here so that you can write here. So let's do that so I don't forget. And one of the other things that I want to do so that I don't forget, let's put that there for right now, is I want to real quick go back. So here, just go back and do a little bit of stamping. So I do like to go back and forth. I'm just going to grab some stamps that I can just use throughout. All right. I'm loving this phrase, orders attended to day or night. Again, I am not looking for perfect stamping, so I'm fine with the way that that looks. I love this condemned. See. Want one of those big numbers. And that's something that I'll do throughout as well with all of the file folders that I have peeking through, except that one because I used black to cover it up. So while I'm here, all right, I did stamp that one. There's the center. Okay. Awesome. And I'm going to do a little bit of stenciling. Now, these are the same stencils that I used for the cover. So sticking with those same patterns, that, you know, that's kind of key. It's like choosing all of your colors, you know, and keeping them the same. You know, it kind of helps tie in the pages. So just looking to fill in some of those blank areas, not keeping it straight, not making sure I've got the perfect fill. you know, I just want to create that background, give that illusion in the background. And can you tell I'm a fan of the condensed stamp? I do love this stamp. And I lost the stamp. Here we go. Okay. Problem with the drawer. Gonna get all these stamps just ready. There we go. Okay. Now this one here, I don't think I'm going to do, well, no, I'll do a stamping down at the bottom. And I think I'm just going to add a stencil. And I think that's just going to be some splatters. Little touches. And we want to add a number to that. And now we are back to where we were. Let's see, where are we at here? Okay, probably another 30 minutes. What I'd like to do is just start in on this side, but you can see how we're going. I'm creating the tucks. I'm adding, you know, that dimension. I'm keeping an eye saying, okay, if this is open, put a pocket here so that we can write on this side. We've got a more stable surface to write on here. I'm giving the illusion between the vellum, making things side tucks, you know, again, just to put things when it comes to that, because we are now close to, here is our center signature that was sewn in, and you can see how I covered for the hidden panel when it comes to that. All right, so let's get through this one. And again, we're going to put a pocket on this side. What's my paper looking like? Okay. Let's try for something different. What's my outside? All right. I want something bold. Okay. All right, let's bring this back down. And I think I just need to put a little weight on that, not right there, because that's where I need to put my piece down. So I do want this to stick out on the top just a little bit. And I think I'm going to come down this side. So I'm going to flip this here, go across here, and come down here. And then looking to say, okay, I can put that there. And then pressing. And I do like to hold them. So again, that opens. Again, we've got a nice little pocket. And let's see. I think we'll go with the larger flourish just down here in the corner. We'll put a little bit here. I love using the brush for that. It just gives it a softer look, a softer feel. And I'm just letting the pages take my stamp where it wants to go. Not fighting it. I know I'm going to put my hand in that. Just want to get my scraps off to the side here. We're not going to make these a pocket or anything else. We're just going to put these down onto the vellum. Forgot to do the backs again, but that's all right. Now this, I'll put a brad on the top again, like I have the others, because this just looks a certain way. And plus, by not doing it right now, it'll give this time to dry. And I'm probably out of, oh no, I'm just in the camera. There we go. Okay, and this one, we are just going to make it a side tuck. And of course, and we're just going to put that there. So, side tuck. All right, that is the first half of our Creep On June. I am really loving the way that this is coming out. Yes, there's a few mistakes, but they are not mistakes where I'm like, okay, you know what, I got to scrap this. And I would never say that anyway. That would be horrible to say with everything that we put into these. But I am really loving it. I'm loving the fact that it is going to be a centerpiece in the home. And then these are just going to be left alone. We're not going to add anything to it. Now, when we get to the center, so this is the center of both of the two outer signatures. So I've got two black envelopes, which made sewing the signature worse. Because it was, you can see my threads are coming up out that way. It was black on black. Didn't matter how many lights I had on. Yeah, it was a bad night last night. I am so glad though I did not do this live. Now, this is a pocket. Okay, I don't know why it's fighting me so much. But this is a pocket. This is a pocket as well. Why is that fighting me so much? It's a pocket, people. Oh, and I just ripped it. I think it's fighting me because the way that it's sewn in. Well, that's all right, because I'm going to fix you. So what I'm doing is I'm just coming in with scissors down to the edge and then pulling them out. And yes, I am just ripping them off because they're going to rip off straight. And then that should, oh yes, so much better. Now we're going to put something across this, okay, just because I ripped it. But that is going to be able, or better to get into. This is just a flap that we can add things to, and we may add some tags to this or anything else like that just to make it interesting. And then we have this here where we can make that a pocket or a tuck as well. So lots of things to do. This one's just on the inside, and then we have this. So the two black envelopes are going to be decorated. Now I want to do the same thing on this one. We just tore it differently. Wow, you are just giving me all kinds of problems today. But again, it's just going to add to the mystery of the book. But now the pockets are easier to get into, which is awesome. I think because these were sewn in and this piece is crossing up, it was just holding on to the envelope. Now, if I get to the next center, let's take care of that as well, because I don't want to forget. It's amazing. The first two ripped out perfectly. Everything else now is just going to say, nope. You gotta love it. You just gotta love it. That is the fun of creating. There we go. And this should, yeah. So now they're easy to get into. Now these are also, I have to say, very flimsy envelopes. Wow, there's not even gum on the thing. Okay. And then this one, we could either make a tuck on this side, or we can create the tuck here. Haven't figured that out yet. All right, but we have completed days 1 through 15 of our Creep on June journal. Again, I really am loving it. I'm loving the way that it's coming out. And looking, and I hope you are as well. So we did 11 through 15, 11, 12, 13. So we did 5 more days. I am going to continue on. All the days are going to be set up basically with the same concept. You know, the tag's either going to be up or it's going to be down here on the vellum. That's going to give the story. In this case here, this tag is going to be set like this, and this is going to sit right behind it. So you won't see, if you have this turned like this and you turn it, you still see this. Just to give that quirky illusion. And again, I'm putting in that quirky illusion because the tag says, upon entering the room, she stopped and gasped as she saw that all the curtains she had previously taken down were now returned to their rails. So again, something different. When you turn the page, you're still seeing something. So that's kind of like my thought process. And then this is just going to be another tuck. This will be a tuck as well. So that's how we'll do that and continue to set up the pages as we go, whether they're belly bands or anything like that. So probably the next video that you'll see is the cover. I will show you. I have to figure out what I want to do for the cover. I have no idea what I want to do for the cover. And you'll also see when I do the cover, you will see how I want to make the plate, the spine plate. Okay, and then it'll be the final flip through. So by the end of July, you should see all the videos. All right. So I hope you're enjoying this. Way different type of journal, home decor type journal. And to me, I like that. Again, we put a lot of work into anything that we create. Everything. It's an awesome thing that we do. We should be able to enjoy it. The recipient should be able to enjoy it, not just put it up on a shelf and use it when we're ready to write, but to be able to see it and fill it in all the time because it's right in front of us. That's how I look at this, and even cards and all of that. So no one can say I do not go over the top. Nope. No one can say it. All right, guys, I hope you are enjoying your day. I hope you're staying safe if you are in any of these heat waves or storms that have been going through. Please stay safe, be cautious, enjoy the art that you create, have fun. Just grabbing those scraps, grabbing your stash and saying, what can I do with this today? Just have fun with that process. But always remember what's most important. Always be creative every day in everything that you do. And I will talk to you in the next video. And until then, take care.